Welcome. Today we're going to talk about the things I like in iPadOS 14. I gotta admit, it's not revolutionary what we have here. There's nothing that was like last year where I was like, I have to be on the beta. Like, it's just so cool. I've got to do this. And because it had all the split screen stuff. But there are still some nice highlights in here that I'm liking that I'm going to share with you today. Buckle up. One of the first things I really like about iPadOS 14 is the widgets. And my favorite, specifically this photo widget right here, because I get to see photos like this of my redheaded daughter, Arwen. I get to see lots of photos. This keeps surfacing them to me, right? Today is going to be, it's my daughter, Lorelai, Arwen. That's Arwen again, right? Grandpa and Eden, I guess. My two oldest ones look so much alike, it's really hard to tell them apart when they're really little. That's Lorelai, Eden planting, me on a mountain. That's actually just this last weekend. Right? Building towers, and then my brother-in-law's wedding. So getting to see those, that's specifically the coolest thing that I keep looking at and being like, oh, this is just awesome. I love it. I'm certainly looking forward to and know that new widgets from third-party developers are going to be probably the thing I'm going to go with. But this is just really nice. Like, again, the battery widget, I quite like that. Right, I can see my iPad, my pencil. This is my trackpad, and I have no idea why there's this other 91% Bluetooth thing. Maybe that's the trackpad as well, because it wasn't there until I plugged the trackpad into my iPad. Because the trackpad was, needing to be charged. It was at 30%. One thing I don't like, though, is that the iPad, they're all restricted to this left side, right? On the phone, I can stick them all out in the rest of my main screen. And I wish we had that, but we don't. It seems like an oversight from Apple for sure. Next up, proper UI focus. So watch down here in this bottom corner. So I'm going to activate Siri. And that's perfect. Like, that's all it takes up, right? Spotlight only takes up this little bit of space as well. I like that. A call is simply a notification at the top. It's perfect. Instead of having this full screen takeover, which I don't know why. Well, I guess I do know why, because it came from the phone, and the phone was really just a phone at the beginning. But now, this is just way better. So I love the proper UI focus that we're giving elements, right? The phone is not the most important. A phone call is not the most important part of my iPad, especially. And it's just nice to have that all minimized down so that I only see what I need to see. Next up, let's go to my phone. Again, you can see I have a widget at the top here, and it's a widget stack, also very nice. My photo widget, again, that's this weekend. That is the Webb McDonald Cole between the two mountains. Next thing I love about this is the graveyard of apps, because I just really only need one screen. And then I can go to the app library, and everything else just goes over here. Because, gotta be honest, like, I know for you too, like you had a good organized first screen. Maybe if you're really particular, you had an organized second screen, and then you had a graveyard of apps that you never looked at and you never needed to organize and you got worried about sometimes. And it just wasn't necessary. Now we just have a graveyard of apps of things we don't even need to see. And I like it. That just takes it out of the way and I don't have to think about it anymore. Honestly, folders is great. I'll even take the time to drag this one down here into YouTube because it's a YouTube shortcut. And just being able to have like folders and shortcuts is excellent, right? I can organize, you can see I've got it organized by app because I keep a lot of my shortcuts around things that I built for other reasons. For apps I don't use things right now. I can see like my blogging ones, different ones for text manipulation. And it's just excellent to have them all like sitting there on their own in some sort of organization. It also supports split screen now, and you can copy and paste different elements between your shortcuts. Those are also really nice things. Honestly, the folders. The folders are the thing that I've really loved, though. That's the thing that I love the folders. Now, I clearly have not covered everything in iOS. There's Scribble. It's not something I'm going to use. I just don't handwrite with my iPad. Although I showed it off to my wife, she tried it out, and she is just waiting to get that on her iPad. The change to apps with the pane or the sidebar apps is excellent. You saw that in shortcuts where we have a sidebar for the apps. I like it. I'm just really waiting to see what other developers do with this. It's nice in the stock apps. What do the third-party developers do? How do they utilize this new layout? And there's ARKit. I've honestly never cared about AR though, so it's there. If you really like it, great. Question, should you install the beta for iPadOS, iOS? Maybe. Like, it's fairly stable beta, but shortcuts in particular has issues. Sometimes it'll take like minutes for a shortcut to run, and I think it hasn't run, so then it's running 6 times. And sometimes it just never runs, and I have no idea why, so I just have to, quit, and I reboot the iPad, and I'm like, oh, there it runs now, and then it doesn't run 2 seconds later. No idea why. I occasionally cannot copy and paste URLs into IA Writer. It's just the bug. I don't know why. It'll paste into other text applications, but just not IA Writer, and then rebooting it fixes it again. And outside of those few little issues, and some of the text snippets, like some of the convert to RTF or convert to markdown stuff, doesn't work inside shortcuts, or splitting of text as well into different lines doesn't work inside shortcuts. Outside of those things, it's actually been pretty good. Like, it's quite stable. It doesn't crash on me. It's not eating battery life necessarily. I like it, but it still is a beta, and the next one could be worse. So your mileage may vary. If you like the video, you can subscribe below when you hit the bell. Then YouTube tells you when things are happening. And if you really like the video, you can go to patreon.com/CurtisMcHale, where you can support the channel to make sure videos keep coming and see some of the behind the scenes stuff that happens around here. Have an excellent day.